right then, let's have the chat. This is the Darwin Nunez chat. It's fair to say, Errol, we got the full Darwin experience today.
IMAX settings.
Honestly, like,
4K.
It's like
the 3D glasses, everything you can think of.
Darwin rocked up and played the hits. There was no cover versions. There was no B-sides off the second album. Darwin rocked up and played the Darwin Nunez hits. 7.6 it was from Who Scored. There you go. 7.2 from Sofa Score. 8.4 from FOTMob. We did get full Darwin today. In that
box office Darwin.
Good, bad, indifferent, everything in between, really. I'll read some of the numbers out. Like, say, he has 2 shots on target, 2 shots off target, wins the penalty, misses what's classed as 2 big chances, scores a goal, could have got a red card, wastes a very good opportunity when he tries to overhead it and goes the wrong way. Like, from start to finish, let's talk the Nunez experience then, because we had it today. I was surprised the manager picked him for this game, because I didn't think this game would suit him.
But to caveat that, you also said that his goal record return against Southampton was pretty good.
And it was,
and he's backed that up again.
He scored 4-4 against them now today, because I thought they're going to be deep. There's nowhere for him to run.
There wasn't.
How's you going to get involved? And he didn't. And at times, actually, I thought in the first half, his hold-up play was lacking. He has a couple of skewed efforts, a couple of that were all right. That one where he just spins the wrong way. Liverpool player up to it, bounces back. It was a very I don't know the correct way of saying it.
Disjointed. It was felt disjointed.
Yeah, it was like at half time, for example, we were obviously on the watch line and people's heads were falling off, as tends to happen on this here internet, and he was getting a lot of the blame, and I was thinking, I think that might just be scapegoating, because I don't think he was garbage, and I think a lot of the team weren't at it, but yeah, I just don't know if that type of opposition suits Darwin Nunez. The team who parked the bus, it doesn't feel like they do.
No, I think the frustration as well was the root cause to the goal could have been avoided had he have done his bit in helping the hold-up play there. And I think that's the thing that I kind of referenced in the watch-along. For me, it's not necessarily the weird and wonderful things that he tries to pull off in the box or around the box or the shots. You're a striker, you've got to pick your own moments. Sometimes you're not always going to get them right. It's when you have got the opportunity to do the basic thing that gets the team set. When the team are kind of relying on you to hold the ball up and bring people into play, and then you lose the ball, and then the team are then having to be on the back foot and on the heels and not really set to be really defending a moment when he was on the cusp of attacking something. That's where I think he got really in his feelings, and I think he probably read the game in that sense as well, because the reason I believe that is because what he goes and does afterwards, the next opportunity he gets to try and close a man down, he absolutely just takes the legs away from him. And I think there was nothing else. There wasn't like a little skirmish or anything like where he bumped into somebody. It was literally, I know I've kind of ballsed up a little bit there, and it's probably something the manager's probably told me before I touched the pitch. Just when we're feeding you, just hold the ball up really well, bring somebody into play, and then go and find the space that you want to operate in. And that was one of the moments where it kind of just went a little bit wrong for Darwin, and he just didn't handle it well at all.
Yeah, so he obviously chases down Kyle Walker-Peters and absolutely webs him, and that's the only way you can describe it.
It's assault. It's borderline assault, bro.
I was one of those where VAR looked at it and didn't send him off. I think if the referee on the pitch sends him off, I don't think it overturns. It's one of those where they've stuck with the ref's call. I don't know if lucky is the right word, I don't know, but it was dumb as dumb, because he gave the ref an opportunity. That ref could very well have sent him off. Another ref might have. Michael Oliver probably would have.
For the petulance of it, Joe.
He's not trying to get the ball.
No.
You can't even, sometimes if you, like say, cynical fouls, everyone does them and they are part of the game. You've got to at least try and look like you're tackling him. He just absolutely volleyed him. I said on the watch long, it's like an orange where it could go either way. He needs that's something. He has got that in his game. He has got that fight. It's one of them. I need to be careful how I describe it, because his temperament is what he is. You are what you are. You know what I mean. But you've got to learn to control it. You know, fire in the belly, ice in the head. And for that moment, Geist melted. He was very lucky not to get sent off.
Oh, I completely agree with you. And I thought that was where I lost. Like, I can understand when you're not like.
Mistakes happen.
Mistakes happen, do you know what I mean? So when you don't get the touch right and it bounces off and then, we concede, there are other players that are culpable for that mistake as well. You don't help, but, get back on the horse and just get yourself back into the game and go back to basics all over again. Where I lose my patience with you and the frustrated side of it comes out is when you go and do something absolutely indefensible and you just go all out and assault somebody on the pitch, because you're building a rod for your own back and you're jeopardising the team's, like I've just said about Salah, bringing the team up to play to his level. You're jeopardising the team's ability to be able to play at the level if they're down to 10 men. So you've got to sometimes temper your own ego and understand that it's a team game and there's still plenty of time on the clock and there is still, the damage isn't irreparable to an extent. And it was a moment of madness. He had that red mist, it came over him, he's lashed out, but I said it to you, it felt like he had a Wizard of Oz moment where he asked the wizard for the brain in coming out into that second half, because by God did he get one. And the timing of the run, because he made a good, and that's the one thing, he made a really good run in the first half as well, pulled back on that near post, and it's almost a similar type of run just on the other side in the second half. And I thought, that he's still sharp, and there was something in that to me in that second half where the first 10-15 minutes he came out of the blocks a completely different player.
Can I ask before we get to actually right, do you think he should have been sent off?
I wouldn't have argued it was indefensible. I would not have argued the referee, and I wouldn't have berated and been kicking off at the telly.
It's one of those referees' decisions. I think personally,
you leave the referee. I think he
probably should have been sent off, and I think he got really lucky there. The interesting thing was, and a lot of people saying this, maybe us included, we heard, on the grapevine, there's a triple sub happening. We thought, well, Nunez is going off. We just presumed he was. Arne Slot chose not to do that. He said in his press conference, actually, he went, I didn't give the players compliments at half-time. The energy levels were too low, so I made 3 subs. He also, Harvey Elliott mentioned, actually, Liverpool played Wednesday, travelled recovery Thursday, 1-day session on Friday, so maybe there was a freshness, a legs thing. That might be why he left Nunez on, because Nunez he hardly played on Wednesday, because we've seen him before take Konate off on a yellow card. He's done this, I think, a couple of times where as soon as Conor Bradley gets away with one against Everton, right off, that kind of thing. He didn't do it with Darwin, and fair play to Nunez. He kept his head and he justified the manager's decision, because I don't think there was a single Liverpool supporter watching that game
that genuinely felt.
Well, who'd have thought it was a bad idea to take Nunez off. So fair play to the manager.
Especially when you're thinking you're hearing 3 substitutions. I don't think there'd have been many Liverpool fans that would have been thinking Darwin wouldn't have been one of those 3.
No. Robertson for Tsimikas, you'd have thought maybe. Yeah. And then McAllister for Szoboszlai.
Someone in midfield.
Okay.
And then
the Jones-Elliott one was
50-50.
Well, I just wasn't expecting that. Yeah. I thought it would have been up front, especially with the yellow card stuff. So fair play to Arne Slot. It might have been the energy thing, like you mentioned.
And again, fair play to Darwin for keeping us cool. And again, that understanding that you've got to temper your ego at times, and there was plenty of time to get back into the game, but we had to go back to doing the right things. And I think that's where it all starts to format from, in the sense that Trent getting the ball across, that big switch, that was tried and tested. It was an out ball almost to us, we really needed an out ball, because the way that Southampton in the first 10 minutes of that second half was giving us the ball, it just kept popping up in Trent's side of the pitch, and he was like, right, you give it to me, I'll give it to him, and then we'll see what happens from there. Then obviously Diaz, again, more direct, more purposeful, and then Darwin, again, just staying switched on, being alive in the box, being a threat and being a danger. And you'd probably think it was something that the type of finish you'd be more accustomed to seeing from a Jota, in terms of taking it first time. He just opens his body really nice. It's a smooth finish from Darwin in that respect. Ice cold really from that position. And again, the confidence, the shushing of the fans. It's everything we've come to see from Darwin.
He gave their fans a bit as well, didn't he? It's interesting now, because it was 83 seconds, I think, from him scoring the goal to win the penalty.
Yeah.
And on both of those things, he does proper centre forward stuff of just beating his man to the ball. The first one, Diaz does fabulous, but the run of Nunez to beat his man and open his foot up is a wonderful finish. He should be really credited. And then for the penalty, that's just a case of being alive. You're always liable when there's a ball bouncing around and defenders desperate to welly it clear. of just winning. That happens a lot.
Yeah,
where you just get in his way and win it. So fair play to him, because like I say, he gets a lot of criticism of being dumb, or like he hasn't got a brain, like you mentioned before. They're two really smart, clever bits of football there. All you can do there is win a penalty. You're not going to score a goal. No. It's really clever.
Back to goal. Look at it,
But the run and finish as well, mate. That's proper centre forward play.
Oh, no, it is.
This is why I go back to it. We say it was the full Nunez experience, because it can be dreadful, and he's got world class, and that's why he's quite frustrating, because just be like that more, and there'll be no questions. You'll be playing every game, and you'll be scoring 20 goals a season.
I think that's what, again, it's probably another conversation for another day, but I think that's where you probably look towards the end of the season, have the conversation about Darwin Nunez's future. I think it's the fact that we've, even as at a club at the level of Liverpool, with the coaching and the ability and all the resources that we've got, for the time he's been here, we haven't been able to iron out those things for a sustained period of time to really extract the world-class qualities on a long enough basis. And that's the ultimate disappointment, because I absolutely love the guy. I think he's a brilliant character. I think he means well. He's got the desire. He's got that hunger. You can see the passion. Look, the FA, is it the Carabao Cup game when we win last year, and it's the final, and it's full time, and he's injured, and he comes absolutely like rocking down the stairs.
Like goal,
yeah, just he bundles his own players out of the way to get on the pitch and just show how much it means to him. Is it the Brentford game? He scored the late goal. He starts kicking the side.
Forest away.
Forest, and I'm like, you just come back from a foot injury. You're like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, all these things are fully Darwin, but like, he should be a cult hero. He should be someone that every single fan wants to see.
I think he is.
Well. Yeah, I think he's like, and
but he just does your head in sometimes.
Yeah, he just does your head in.
Can I just say this? He's played 134 games for Liverpool now.
His goal return's not bad.
It's worth mentioning, 58 of those off the bench, and 49 he's been taken off. He very rarely plays 90 minutes, so that even my quick maths can tell me there, it's like 107 times he hasn't played the full game of those 134. He's got 40 goals and 22 assists. Like, this is like, people go on like, and we get it all the time, and it does my head in. He's one of the worst players. You go, he's the worst player I've ever seen. Honestly,
he's not.
He isn't in the top 20 worst Liverpool players I've seen. He isn't in the top 10 worst forwards I've seen. He just does your head in, because you can go from the first half when he tries a mad overhead where the ball's bouncing and he spins the wrong way and he can't score. It's impossible to score. He runs back and maybe should get himself sent off, and then he scores a proper centre forwards goal and wins a penalty, and you're like, How can you analyse this man? I don't know. It's impossible.
Is it fair to say he's got a little bit of the Balotelli in him?
He's much more effective for us.
Yeah, for us. No, but not comparing Liverpool Balotelli, but profile of player.
I think they're both a little bit nuts. Balotelli just looked like something that he didn't give a fuck. That's the problem with Balotelli.
Yeah, and maybe off the field he probably. Well, Darwin, it matters. Like, Darwin lives and breathes football, doesn't he? Yeah, no, you're probably right there. But there's just something. He's batshit crazy.
Someone said to me today, he described Darwin Nunez' performance today. I'd say he went full Darwin.
Yeah.
He makes a mad decision. Could have got himself sent off. Scores a wonderful goal. Wins a penalty. Like, it was just bizarre. But this is the kind of point you need your squad players and you need your other players. Everyone can't play every single game. And if if I said to you, blind, whatever, your striker played 68 minutes, he had 4 shots, one of which he scores a goal, he wins a penalty. You'd be like, okay, yeah, Sandy, he's done his job. He did his job at the second half in particular.
Same with your reference to Alisson when we spoke yesterday, and being like, if I told you that your keeper makes 6-7 saves, would you be telling me that he's done his job? Like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the same for Darwin today.
Did his job. So yeah, he went full Darwin.
Yeah. The full effects, man.
The full kit and caboodle. Again, everyone was post Aston Villa when everyone was writing him off. Since then he's been involved. Does really well against PSG. Today a goal. It's not really an assist, is it? I know in some fancy games sometimes it classes an assist winning a penalty, but yeah, he is who he is.
He's a handful.
He's an enigma, and he'll make you tear your hair out if you're lucky enough to have some, and then he'll get you on your feet as well. That was just, I can't explain it other than saying it was the full. You
laugh, cry, celebrate, cheer, everything in that though.
If his life was a movie, you wouldn't be able to class it. It can't be a comedy. It can't be a tragedy. It can't be a horror movie. It can't be light-hearted wrong. It's everything. Because you love him, you hate him, he makes you laugh, he makes you cry, you want to kill him, you want to hug him, you want to kiss him. And yeah, he's just like, he is just everything.
Good luck to his missus, Larry. He must be absolutely
He's human emotion wrapped up in a ball inside the vest. That he is what it is. But yeah, fair play to him. He's the difference there. He helps Liverpool win that game.
Big up Darwin.